Hi everyone, it's Leslie here from Stamping Up with Elegant Edges, and today I have this lovely card made with a new sort of technique for me called a fault line, and you can see why it's been called that. I was about to make a diagonal card, and I saw this and thought, oh, I'll have a go. It's really easy to make and something a little bit different. So today I'm using some Celebration products. I'm using the lovely papers. Ooh. These are just some of them. I'm going to show some of the ones I've cut into because they're a little bit smaller. They're called Bloom Impressions 12 by 12 DSP, and they come absolutely free with a level 1 order, which is £55. So brilliant. They are so pretty. I used these on my last video and they really are lovely. So you get this gorgeous, put it out the right way for you, not that it matters really. They're sort of floral, and then on the back they have a more muted design, and I'm going to use a front and a back today, but I'm going to choose different papers. Obviously they would work together, but all of them being floral. Look at this lovely sort of shy shamrock, beautiful pinks. This is the one that I used today, and that gorgeous background there. So the colours in this are, according to the back, Azure Afternoon, obviously that's that lovely blue, Blackberry Bliss, Blueberry Bushel, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pumpkin Pie, and Shy Shamrock. Shy Shamrock's one of my favourite actually. Anyway, so I'm going to use the same colours again and just show you how I did it, because it was really quite nice and easy. So there's some designer series paper, an offcut of what I used earlier, and a little contrasting one, and you can see lovely Blackberry Bliss there. Okay, so there's my DSP. Here's the contrast. Basic white card. Here I use thick card, and it was actually quite difficult for me. My fingers aren't so strong anymore, so today I'm going to use the basic white, and if it's not strong enough I'm going to layer it. I've stamped. I have used today Hearts of Elegance stamp and die sets. This is lovely. Obviously it goes with Valentine's paper, but today I've used this lovely flower stamp and the little 3-leaf group here. Dies cut them out. Gorgeous hearts in here. So I've yet to try these out, and I can't wait to find an excuse for a project that isn't exactly Valentine's to cut that out. But I love the way I can just use the flower on anything. So I've used that. I've used here a Happy Birthday, and I love the font on this one. This came from Magnolia Mood. So, and I've cut it out with a stylish shapes die. So that's what I'm going to be using, and let me show you how to do it. We come back. So I've got a piece of basic white, the ordinary thin stuff, and I've cut it down the middle at 4 1/8 or 10.5 centimeters if you work in new money. Okay, get my cutter, my trimmer. So I'm going to put one piece aside for now and work on the long piece. And I need to cut this to 9.5 inches. So 9.5, it's just over 24 centimeters, 24.2. So that was one of the pieces I used to stamp on before. And I'm going to score this at my normal size, which is 5 3/4. Make sure I've got my scoring blade. So that is my normal preferred size for a base. So that's the back of my card. This is going to be the front that we're going to work on. Now, because as I said, this is going to need some layering up, I'm going to cut a piece, one piece to neaten the front, and if it's a 5 3/4 inch card, I'm going to make it just 1/8 of an inch shorter than that, so that it doesn't interfere with the card fold. And I have a spare piece here. I may need that to strengthen the back, so I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to put my strengthening piece here to one side, and we are going to work on this piece. Right, I'm going to cut some DSP now. So again, this is my main piece that's going to go across the front. So my main piece is going to be square. I have this at 4 1/8 wide. I'm going to cut it into an absolute square at 4 1/8 long. I'll save that one. And then I can kind of juggle it and think, which way do I want it up? I don't suppose there's a right way with these flowers, but sometimes, you know, you like one way better than the other. And this little piece for my contrast, I'm going to cut at 4 1/8 wide by just over, I'm going to cut it at 3 1/4. Put that one to one side. So these are my pieces that I'm going to work on. I'll put my trimmer, my trusty trimmer that I love so much. Oops, was going to be on the side, but it's now on the floor. Okay, now to help me with this, I have some removable Scotch tape, just in case I need it. So what I'm going to do, is the little piece that I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm going to line that up with my base, and it's just sort of in the middle, and so it doesn't move too much, I'm just going to pop some removable Scotch tape on it. It won't hurt it. It's like painter's tape or masking tape. So to get this effect on the front, what I'm going to do is to actually tear the card across the front. So I'm going to go from about here to here. You want, instead of going dead from corner, you want it a little bit in. I don't want to put my tape there in case it gets in the way, so I'm going to go from there to about here. Okay, just a sort of finger distance apart, and I'm going to tear it towards me. So you can see why I struggled a little. So that's the sort of tear we want. I'm going to take that off, gently remove my removable tape. Okay, so now you can see the effect that we've got. We're going to actually layer them the other way around. Okay, so pop them underneath like that. Okay, now on my first one, what I did was I worked on these edges before I stuck the card together, because I think it's easier. That's my personal opinion. One side looks really nice and the other's got more white on it. Some people like sort of tearing paper, roughing up the edges. You can actually put little breaks in it, get a bit more movement. I think that looks nicer personally when you do that, get more shape to it. Okay, and obviously you can do a little bit more work on those after, but we certainly don't want them to be flat. And the same with these edges here, just kind of start roughing them up with your fingers, curling them a little bit, but keeping the crinkly shape. We don't want it too flat. Okay, so I like using wet glue. This is one that you could definitely use a tape runner on a seal. That's it, my glue went walkabout. So what I'm going to do is to actually make make sure I've got the right piece, yes, because they sort of mirror each other. And I'm going to put some glue just along this top edge. Normally I have my glue standing up, but I've knocked it off my desk. Now I'm going to glue it here along this edge, but not too close. If I glue it too close, it'll show. So I'm about a finger's width away. Okay. Let me stand that one up. And everything really is just done according to your eye, how you like it. Trying to keep this edge straight. Obviously that isn't straight, so because it's wet glue, we can give it a little wiggle and shift it. What does that look like from the front? Needs to come down. So we can do that. And we can always tear some off if we need to, but it's just hard to put it back. So I can either roll this one back further, but I might have another little tear here, and just let's put a little bit more shape to it. Okay. You can always use your bone folder just to lift it. My nails are painted and they're thicker than my natural nails. Now they've got an overlay on and they're not so good at picking up all these little edges. So just having a roll. Okay, just like that. Which way do I like these leaves? Which way do I like the flowers? They seem to... maybe that way. All I need to do is to be able to see the design from all sides. So that, leave that there for a moment. It's got to go that way round on here. So again, I'm going to play with the edges. Just going to try and roll them back. Do you remember when we used to do this to our kind of all our edges and rough them up with the edge of scissors? I mean, there were proper tools to do it, but I must admit I usually like nice clean edges, so this is kind of taking me well out of my comfort zone. But you know, now and again it's nice to do something really different. And the reason I like this style is because it would work with any collection. You could use it literally with all sorts of papers, masculine, feminine. That's why it needs to go the other way around. That's looking better. Thought it didn't look right. Okay, so we're going to put glue on here about a finger away. I'm going to put glue down that edge. It's only because I can't bear not have it sort of pop down on the card. How are we doing? If there's any over, you can always trim it off with a pair of scissors. I mean, it really is a very forgiving thing to do here. But I've got some peeking out that I think I need to get over. So I'm just going to straighten it. Looking better. Have a little flatten on that edge. And then, again, it's not stuck down, so you can pick it up and you can work on it even when it's all popped in the card. And sometimes the more you do this, the better the effect you get. Okay, so now we're going to put it all together. So I'm not adhering to the base, I'm just laying things on top. obviously what I need to do is to straighten up this bottom layer. And again, I'm going to use my removable tape, and I'm just going to hold that in position. It's only this top bit. Then I can shuffle the bottom bit. I can slip it up and down. I need to make sure that's covered. So it's got to go down a bit more. Okay. Yes, that's covered too. Pop it in. It's not quite square. Right, that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is to get my glue. I'm going to pop glue along there and glue along here. And glue about a finger away here, being careful at the edge. Lay it down. Lay it down. Just have a little squish, but not over those little places we've just curled up. That'd be a bit counterproductive, wouldn't that? So obviously, you know, the more wiggly the effect, the better. I must admit, I like this edge. See, it's not stuck at the edge, it's quite loose, and you've got a little bit of height on it. Nice. Okay, so that's that stuck down. Now on the bottom, just to give it some interest with my two flowers, this time I'm going to move them further down the page. Let me put them down there, and I'm going to pop them up on dimensionals. Here we are, new packet. Okay. Now I changed the tip on here. Let me swap it back again. Okay. So I'm going to pop a dimension on that edge here. On the opposite one. That side. And as I say, I'm going to move them further down. Let me take this away now before I stick a flower on top. This is my... You see, it peels off quite easily. My card is now one piece. It's not terribly secure, which is why I think I need something on the back, but we'll do that afterwards. So I'm going to have one down here. One over here. And then I've got these little leaves that I'm going to... You can see I'd started stamping the birthday wrong underneath. Going to pop those underneath. So let me have one there. Yeah, I've got lots stamped, so it's no hardship to pop some more on. Nice one, sort of pointing in the rough direction of the corner. Another one. Okay, so this was my happy birthday. Again, I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals. I mean, I could even have it going diagonally across, which might look quite nice. What do I think? I think I will today. Just for a change, just to make it different. And let's find my bit of bling. I chose the sort of brass butterflies before. So here I've got 2024 to 26 in colour shimmer dots, and I think that they will work. I'm going to be looking at this, probably pretty in pink here, and this is, I would imagine, Petunia Pop, but they're very pale and I think they would work. Let me just hold it up. Do I want the pinky ones or the more mauvey? I think I like the more mauvey ones to go with this edge. Anyway, I might move those. I'm not quite happy with those, but I do like the shimmer dots on there. And again, so we've got exactly the same papers, same size card, all the same elements except the bling. But I've just moved down. I like that. It looks happier in the corner. And then on the inside of this one, it's definitely less stable. I'm going to tidy that up with my extra piece of basic white. And you can see I cut it just 1/8 of an inch short of 5 3/4. It really doesn't need to be measured. It can just be a little bit shorter. And I'm going to line it up with the bottom. Get those two edges line, those two corners, and it should miss the top crease, which it does. Just going to squish it over. I'm not going to press everywhere because it's a little bit uneven, so I don't want the bumps to show through the front. Now, is that back secure? Stands up there. It stands up on its own. If I'm worried, I will cut an extra layer from the piece that I had over, and I can pop that inside on the back. I'll probably pop another or stamp one of those flowers in here and some little leaves. I could do some more of that and pop them in. I could put a strip of DSP across the bottom. That would look nice too. Maybe I should do that. Let's find my DSP offcuts and do just that. Here it is. Cut a little strip. I don't think it needs to be too big. About 3/4 is usually big enough. Allows you to see the design without being too busy. One's slightly wider than the other, but you know, it doesn't matter. We'll see which one we like better. I have to lift it up a little bit from the bottom, not quite on the bottom, just have a little bit of white peeking through. That looks quite nice, finishes the inside off. This is the one with the thick basic white. Definitely feels more substantial. It's just, I found it very difficult. My fingers have got arthritis in them and they don't work as well as they used to. So there we go. same card, two slightly different variations, fault line card. And I need to thank a fellow demo who's called Loni Spendlove in the US, and she goes by the name of Creative Loni. Do look her up, watch her video, and thank you, Loni, for this lovely lovely design, which I know I'm going to be using with some different DSP. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you do need anything, if you're in the UK or any of these countries, this is my shop on Stampin' Up UK. If you pop the host code in, this one here, it's you'll get a little extra something from me as a thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.